Alright, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to another video. So today, if you couldn't tell by the title, we're going to be working on a case opening UI GUI tutorial. So what I'm talking about is something kind of like maybe like Miner's Haven or Jailbreak, those kind of case unboxing type systems. So it's fairly easy. So let's go ahead and begin. So you guys might have already been able to tell we already have a few things in here like items and elements, and you could get these down in the description down below, so go ahead and download those. Pause the video really quickly, go and download those and put elements of starter GUI and replicated storage. I meant items and replicated storage, because you're going to need that for this tutorial. For items, it's quite simple. It carries rarities, so the names of each rarity, the chance, and the color for each rarity. The cases, which items they have, and the items in general contain the name, the image ID, and the rarity type, which connects back to here, and this connects to there. So it should be quite simple, so let's go ahead and get started. So first, you guys might not be able to see me right-clicking and then the little drop-down menu, but go ahead and insert a Screen Gui, and we're just going to go ahead and name this UI or UI. You guys kind of get a little bit pushy about that when it comes to UI or UI. It doesn't matter to me, really. So anyways, let's go ahead and create a new folder, and we're going to go ahead and name this modules. Quite simple, right? So now we're going to go ahead and insert a new module, and we're going to name this case. Quickly going to say, some of this tutorial will be primarily based off my UI I gave you guys down in the description down below, by the way, if you haven't downloaded that yet. And that is because of that's because I built it around this, but you can change it for your own UI. Just gonna mention that. So anyways, let's go ahead and do local m is equal to an array, and let's go ahead and get items. So local items is equal to require game.replicateStorage.items. Perfect. So this is just going to really quickly grab all the information from the module script. So let's go ahead and get our player variables in. So local player is equal to the player service players. So local player. And let's go ahead and get our player GUI. So we're going to name that GUI, and we're going to call wait for child player GUI. And then we're also going to get the UI and elements. So all we have to do for the UI part is we're going to go ahead and call wait for child and UI. And then for elements, quite simple as well. We're just going to simply go GUI wait for child, and then you use capital C, and we're going to go ahead and put elements. So those are three primary variables we're going to use. We're going to go ahead and get started with the functions now. So we're going to go ahead and do get rarity. This is going to be used for getting the rarity properties. So gets all properties of rarity type. And let's go ahead and do a iPairs loop through the different rarities, just to find our specific rarity. So we're gonna go ahead and capitalize that. B.name is equal to type. That's not how you spell type, but if it equals to type, then we're gonna return B. Basically, this is saying, okay, if the rarity we're given equals the rarity in this array, then we're just gonna return all the properties of that array. All right, so now that's done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is creating the item. So free item, quite simple. So we're going to go ahead and clone the object and set scalable properties. And local object is equal to elements wait for child. And we're going to go ahead and do item, and we're just going to clone that. And that will be parented later. We're going to go ahead and get scaled size, and this is going to be quite simple. So we're going to go ahead and do math.floor object. Whoops, that's not meant to go like that. It's supposed to go like that. So object.size.x.scale, and then times m.settings.cui.absolute size.y. You might be asking where the .settings come from. Don't worry about that. We're going to be covering that in a little bit. and then we're going to add a half. And if you guys don't know why, math.floor is not like math.round in JavaScript. More so, math.floor always rounds down. So if you add a half to it, let's say it's 0.2, right? That'll be 0.7, but since it doesn't go to the next, since it's not above that, it's going to round down. But let's say it's 0.5 to 0.9. Basically, that's going to make it go up to the next number, which then rounds down, so it's a round up, round down situation. So now we're going to go ahead and get Inset Types, and that's also quite simple. So we're going to go ahead and do local types is equal to another array. And we're going to do another iPairs loop, and we're going to go ahead and do m.settings.case.items do. Now, by the way, do not set m.settings to anything yet. Just wait for the end. So we're going to go through case items, and then we're going to go down here for DC and iPairs items.items do, and that's indexing these right here. Now, if c.name equals b, that means item is a part of case. Then we're going to go ahead and get the rarity. So m get rarity, and then we're going to do rarity type, because if you don't know, that's what the rarity types are located, and they're called rarity types. So we're going to get the type, and then for t equals 1, r dot rarity times 10 do table.insert types c. Now, basic rundown of this. Each rarity is a percentage, so 5% of unusual, 50% of rare, uncommon 65%, and common 80. So if we times these by 10, that's 8, that's 6.5, that's 1.5, and that's 0.5. So basically, it's going to go through 1 a bunch of times. For that many times, so rare, and then uncommon and common. So that's kind of what it basically does. Let's go ahead and make that 0.1 actually. You could change that if you want. I'm going to keep it at 0.5 actually. So yeah, so that's basically what it does. It just inserts it a bunch of times and makes the higher chances of getting an object or item greater, and when it comes to the random selection. So anyways, let's go ahead and select our item. So we're going to go ahead and do select item, local item is equal to types m.settings.prng, next integer 1 hashtag types. If you don't know what a PRNG is, a pseudo random number generator, and we'll cover that in a bit and what next integer does in a little bit. So item type, simple, m get rarity like last time, and we're going to do rarity type. Next, we're just going to set other properties. So simply object.border color3 equals item type dot color, object.rarity mark dot background color3. I need to spell background better. Okay, can I spell background? There you go. Background color 3 equals item type dot color. Then we're also going to have object dot rarity mark dot rarity dot text is equal to item type dot name, and then we're just going to set the name of the overall object to the name of the item. And then we're just going to set the image. Dot image is equal to rbx asset id dot item dot image id. And there you go. That's setting the properties. So now we're just going to set the position. Object dot position equals m dot settings dot last object, and we're going to move that down there. M dot settings dot last object dot position plus udim I2 dot new scaled size 000. Finished off that udim, which is also universal dimensions. So plus m dot settings dot offset, and then we're going to do or. It's going to be at the very end, so it's going to be slightly cut off at the very end. Divided by 2, 0, half, whoops, half 0. So that's it. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and move you over there, and we're going to set the parent first, and then We're just going to go ahead and do that. And then set few variables. m.settings.lastObject equals object. Table.insert m.settings.objects object. Basically, what this does is it clones an item and gets the size, right? And then we're going to get and set types. So we're going to go ahead and get all the types that are possible. And the ones with a greater chance will have a lot more in the table. Ones with lower chances will have none. Select item. Basically, as you can tell, is going to select that item at random. Set other properties, that's just going to be, this is simply based off what your UI is, so don't really copy that if you're using a different one, and you can change this accordingly to how your UI is set. But this sets the position of each one, and then these basically set the parent and just finish. So let's go ahead and move on now. So we're going to go ahead and create a few more functions here that all relate. So we're going to do mCheck. So what check is going to do is going to check if any items are past or like not visible anymore. So when they're not visible anymore, we're going to remove them and make a new item. And so that's going to follow something like this. So for A, B, and I pairs, we're going to go ahead and do m.settings.objects, do local scaled size equals b.absolute size. If b.absolute position.x is less than or equal to negative scaled size .x plus m.settings.offset.x.offset, then we're just going to remove it from the table. m.settings.objects a, and then we're just going to do b destroy. Just get rid of that object. We're going to create an item, and then we're going to check again. This is basically just a simple loop that will keep going until nothing is past a certain point. So basically, if any object is past the left side, then it'll get destroyed and it'll make another object for the table to keep spinning, right? So that's simple. That's the simple check function there. So yeah, that's basically what it does. It goes through all of them. If it's off screen to the left, then go ahead, remove it, create a new item, and check again. So now we're just going to go ahead and do mUpdate. Basically, this is just going to happen every time a frame is rendered. So we're just going to go ahead and m.settings.speed. Basically, this is going to be from 0 to 1. So settings.speed minus 0.03 divided by m.settings.spin length 0. So basically, from here, it does math.max, which basically says you can't be lower than 0, and it subtracts, and this is our constant, and then spin length we'll get into later. So m.settings.new Excel, which is going to be the rate that we go by. So math.sin, this is just basically outsign or outsin if you seen easing styles before. So m.settings.speed. So basically this slowly this speeds up and then slowly slows down, or it slowly deaccelerates near the end. That's kind of a more proper. So for A, B, and I pairs, and now we're moving on to offsetting the objects by this. So b.position is equal to b.position minus udim2.new m.settings.new Excel divided by m.settings.cue.absolute size.x000. And that's basically it. That simply works the way we want it to. So it's all adjusted to scale. m.settings.new Excel equals 0. Then m result, which basically just says, okay, if it finishes spinning, then we're going to call the result state, which is next, which is literally right next after this. So we're going to go ahead and do results. We're going to disconnect a render stepped function, which you'll see in a bit. So we're going to disconnect that quite simply like that. And we're going to go ahead and get the selected item. So local item, and then for A, B, and I pairs, we're going to go ahead and do m.settings.objects do and local left and right. So this is quite simple. The left part is the basically the position the frame is at. So we're just going to get the scale of that, and then we're going to go ahead and get the other scale. So b.absolute position.x plus b.absolute size.x divided by x again. So there you go. That's what left and right should look like. Then what we're going to go ahead and do, if left is less than or equal to a half and right is greater than or equal to a half, then item equals b and break, because we already found our item that's colliding with a half. And this is basically collision detection for rectangles. It's quite simple. So if item, then m.newResult is equal to item, and then else local closest items is equal to an array, or AB in I pairs, do, and then we're going to go ahead and do this in the objects part. So mSettings.objects, table.insert closest items. The magnitude is basically going to be the distance, so we're going to simply do that. And then here is also going to be, actually, let's kind of format it like this, so it's kind of more at home. There you go. And then we're also going to have item, or as our index here. So vector 2 is quite simple. If you don't know how the magnitude works, it works kind of like this. So we just get the magnitude, which is the distance between two vectors. So we're going to have vector2.new minus vector2.new. This is going to be a half and a half, I believe. Or no, half and 0. And then we're going to go ahead and simply b.absolute position.x divided by m.settings.cui.absolute size.x, and then 0. So that is going to be our scale there for the magnitude part. And after we do that, that should be good for that, is it? Yep. So that's perfect. And afterwards, we're just going to simply sort it by the lowest magnitude or the shortest distance to the center. So closest items, function AB, return end, and then we're just going to return a.mag is less than b.mag, which means the distances are a lot smaller, right? And then afterwards, m.newResult is equal to closest items, one.item. So that's the end for the result. Now we're at the final stretch, and this is going to be the end for this module. So we're just going to go ahead and do a function mCreate case type, and what we're going to do here is quite simple. So we're going to go ahead and do settings. m.settings is equal to another array. So we have case items dot cases, and then case type, and then we're going to have CUI is equal to elements wait for child case UI, and we're going to clone that, and then objects is equal to an array. Now here comes PRNG. PRNG is the new random.new class, and next integer basically just is the same thing as math.random, but is even more random than math.random. It makes no sense, I know. So anyways, utim2.new, we have 0, 25, 0, 0. That's going to be offset on the x-axis. We're going to have acceleration is equal to 30. Speed is equal to 1. That's where it starts off at. And spin length, let's have it be for 5 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and set new result back to nil, so you can do this multiple times. So now we're going to have pre-setup. So m.settings.cui.parent is equal to UI. Quite simple. And then we're going to create a few items first for the acceleration to work. And then services, m.render is equal to game, get service, run service, render step connect function right. So anyways, then we're just going to call update, and then we're going to call check, and then we're going to wait for the result. So we're going to repeat wait until m.newResult. And then we're going to do get rid of UI spawn function wait one. So for the players to see what they got, and m.settings.cue tween position udem 2.new 0 0 1.15 0, get rid of it, out sign 1 true, which true means it'll overlay any animation before it. And then afterwards we simply do function end and then m.settings.cue destroy, and we are done with the module. So now all we have to do is return m, and afterwards we're going to return result, so return m.newResult. And now we're done with this. We can now finish it off with getting the client in there. So I'm not going to do a whole thing with the client, but I'm just going to name this local script client, and you'll see what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and do local a is equal to require game.players.localPlayer wait for child player GUI wait for child modules wait for child case, and then create. That should be what it is. It should be lowercase, right? Yeah, it's lowercase, and then we're gonna do classic, right? And that's what it is in the items, if I'm correct. Yep, it's classic. And then afterwards, we're gonna go ahead and print A. All right, sorry about that, everyone. Quick jump cut. I forgot to do something here. This is not we forgot to actually put in this here. Kind of forgot about that. So anyways, we kind of forgot to put in the divide part. This was going to turn out really wonky. So yeah, now we're done. Now we're done with this. So now if we press play, as you can see, all the items start going by, and whatever item, so as you see, it comes on overrated. And let's go ahead and press play again, and as you can see, it'll do this again for 5, and it goes on overrated again because that is a, I think, uncommon. Yeah, it is an uncommon, so it can land on a common like that. So this is called a classic. And if you keep doing it, it'll keep happening, and it'll keep going to different ones. Oh, we almost got a rare there. So anyways, yeah, that's about it, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and comment down below if you have any more ideas. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. So don't forget to do all those things: subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to turn on notifications for the channel. And I know I said I was going to do videos every week. That's going to actually happen now. Streams, I think, videos. I'm going to count streams with videos. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
She was screaming out, falling at me, falling at me, 'cause you